Are your drawers and baskets full of this too? But your cards look something like this? Why do we hoard so much pattern paper but almost never use it? Let's take a look in here and see what on earth is stopping us. You're gonna find out exactly what you need to just cut up that pattern paper and finally turn it into some cards. Sure, you've already got a whole stack of pattern paper, but you need this new one, right? It's the perfect pattern, or it's your favorite colors, or it's succulents, or llamas, or any other thing from your gotta have it list. So you buy it, but the exact same thing that happened to the rest of the paper pads, it happens to this one too. It gets stuffed in a drawer, never to see the light of day again, or at least not a pair of scissors. That is about to change, because not only do you have this video where we're gonna totally change your thinking around pattern paper, but this is also a part of a collaboration with Justine, and she's gonna take things even further and help you pare down your paper clutter and design with what you decide to keep. Let's have a look in here right now. A big reason we don't use our pattern paper is scarcity. Have you heard of a scarcity mindset? It's a constant focus on what we don't have enough of. Big pile paper, and I'm talking about not enough? Let me show you. I've got 4 scenarios you might be dealing with, and we're gonna look at each of them in a thought model to see why you're not using your paper and how to change that. I've linked more about thought models and how to use them in the description for you below. But here's the thing, for every scenario where you end up not using your pattern paper, I'm gonna share an alternative one where you do. Almost like a choose your own adventure, but for real, you can choose. In each of these models, I want you to notice how what you think always creates the ending. This is awesome news because guess who chooses your thoughts? Yep, you're totally in charge here. Once I use this piece of pattern paper, it's gone. Feeling kind of attached to that gorgeous piece of paper now? You might just tuck it right on back in the drawer. Gotta keep it safe, uncut. Your result? That paper's already as good as gone. How about a different choose your own adventure here? A different ending. You need a different thought then. What about there's so much beautiful paper available to me? There's the confidence we need. You can definitely use up that sheet of paper. It's just one out of a ton. Maybe you check out Pinterest and find some layouts to play around with, especially some to really show off this gorgeous paper. Your result? You create even more beauty with that paper. Pattern paper is more expensive than just using white cardstock. What if I mess it up and waste money? Ugh, that feels worrisome. What if your design's not good enough? Let's just put it away. Or maybe you do decide to cut into it, but the whole making experience is more nerve-wracking. It's just not as fun. The result? You waste money by not using the paper or not enjoying it when you do. Let's go for something different. I bought this paper to have fun making with it. Okay, that feels freeing. So maybe you pull out a bunch of your paper to make with, and you're free to use up any of it that you want. Maybe you'll even make multiples of a card. Do a test run with certain papers and final versions with your favorite papers. You can cut into any of it with no regrets about how it turns out. The result? You have fun using your paper. No money wasted. Using patterned paper makes my cards less handmade, less creative. Okay, so no pattern paper. Well, that feels kind of limiting, especially since you really liked a certain pattern paper. Maybe you try to replicate a handmade version of it, but it just doesn't come out the same. Now maybe you're stuck spinning your wheels on a new design that doesn't take pattern paper. The result? Your whole card making experience is less creative. What about this instead? I have more creative design options when I'm open to using pattern paper. Maybe you feel curious then, wondering what's something unique I can do with this paper. You pull it out and get experimenting. Tear it up, use it as little accents, stamp or ink blend on it. The result? You come up with creative designs. I have no idea how to pair papers or pattern or color. Understandably, you're feeling confused now. Instead of action and making, you do a lot of wondering, like, why can others do this and I can't? How do you even get good at this? The result? You don't learn how to use your patterned paper. Let's try, I can find at least one thing that looks good with this paper. That feels hopeful. You're willing to try. Maybe you see what pairings you can just come up with on your own, or maybe you want to learn a little first. You check Pinterest for pattern and color combos, and you're open to inspiration from anywhere. Cards, clothing, interior design, product packaging. Then you try it out with your paper. The result? You find pairings to use with your paper. Did you ever think all you needed to cut into your pattern paper was a little real-life choose-your-own adventure? Your thoughts can absolutely change your ending for little things like using pattern paper, but it can do the exact same thing for the big things in life. It's pretty amazing when you let your thoughts work for you. Now that you're ready to cut into that pattern paper, what if you've got another paper problem on your hands? You're utterly swamped in the stuff. Time to purge? But what stays? What should go? Could you use what you keep more often? Justine's got first-hand experience and the perfect solution for too much. Check it out right here, because you're going to want to find out just how good it feels to be free from way too much.